My name is Roman, I'm 24 years old and I've never played a Pokémon game in my life. I live in Ukraine and here everyone plays on PC, most people have not even seen a Nintendo console, so you could say I didn't have a chance to get into this series, but recently I bought a Switch 2 and decided to check out this universe. You know, visually the games might not look great, but there is a reason why so many people are obsessed with them, right? Today I'm going to find out why. There was only one big question left, which game should I start with? Maybe one of the very first Pokémon games? Well, they're really old now, I think that would probably scares me away instead of getting me into the series. I wanted a new game, something that works well on Switch 2, after all I paid 2500 bucks for this. In the end I had two options, the new Pokémon Legends ZA and Pokémon Scarlet Violet. ZA looks interesting, but first, that price is a bit much, and second, look at the world, you can run across in 2 minutes, what is there to explore? So I decided to go with Pokémon Scarlet. It has a huge open world, similar to Zelda Breath of the Wild, which I love. It has a free update for Switch 2, and it's actually pretty cheap. I managed to find a cartridge on our local eBay for just 27 bucks. Anyway, enough with the long intro, let's start the journey. As soon as I launched the game, the first thing that hit me was the graphics. Surprisingly, the game looks nice at first. You can tell the devs work hard on the interiors. With this anime art style, the game actually looks awesome. At that moment, I thought the game looked much better than in the screenshots, but as soon as I stepped outside, I saw the truth. The game looks as bad outside as it looks good inside. The textures are blurry, the trees are blocky, and I don't think shadow even exists in this world. Keep in mind, I'm playing the Switch 2 version. I'm terrified to imagine what it looks like on the original Switch. But okay, it's not that important, I'm not a graphics snob. The main thing is for the game to be fun. After I picked my starter and finished the tutorial, I was basically free to go. I immediately started catching every Pokémon. Sadly, this starting era didn't have any cool Pokémon, it was mostly just birds, small pigs and fish, and here I experienced the battle and catching Pokémon for the first time. Honestly, I'm not a fan of turn-based games or JRPGs, I played Persona and I liked talking to the characters, but the battles were confusing. You just running through closed corridors and fighting the same enemies over and over. It just didn't click for me, but Pokémon really hooked me. Even though there is no action in the battles, catching these cute little creatures gives every fight a real purpose. I wanted to collect them all, no matter what it took. But very quickly I ran into a huge problem, the difficulty. It turned out I could just smash any buttons, use any skills and still destroy everyone. In battles I didn't even pay attention to Pokemon types or counters, I just picked my strongest move and nobody survived. So very soon I realized there was no point in building a cool team. Especially when I fought my first gym leader. I one-shotted her grass Pokémon, and even her special move, Terrorization, couldn't touch me. You know, that's not fun at all. So, to fix this, I check out the settings. Maybe I can change the difficulty? Nope. The only thing you can do is turn off experience shading. But honestly, this just makes the game slower, not more interesting. I thought maybe I should hide my starter Pokémon, maybe he's too overpowered, but that's not a great idea either. You basically giving up your main weapon, the one you've been leveling the whole game, so I just keep playing and hope it will get better later, and surprisingly, it did. When I first started fighting the Team Star boss, Giacomo, I didn't expect him to be so strong, and I ended up losing. That was the moment I realized I need to learn how to counter different types. No more brainless bottom smashing, I needed a tactic. And you know what I did? While I played on the Switch, I had a special type chart open on my phone. It shows all Pokemon types and who counters who. When I first saw this table, I was blown away. I've seen similar mechanics in games like Genshin Impact, but there are so many types here. I have no idea how people memorize all of it. Even now, after beating the game, I still struggle with some of them. Anyway, this type mechanic gives the game a second wind, and I get hooked. I played in the morning, at lunch, and until late at night. When the enemies got stronger, I finally had a reason to build a nice team. I spent hours online reading about the best Pokemon and how to evolve them. Just leveling up is not enough for some of them. Sometimes you have to walk miles or find the specific material. Honestly, I would have never guessed this without guides. In the end, I had a very solid squad. The best of them is King Gambit, evolving him was a total nightmare, Armor Roach, and finally Dragon Knight. When I found him, he was glowing with the golden light. I don't think it was a shiny, but it still looked better than the regular one. Let me know in the comments if I am wrong. In the mid-game, I was very focused on my team, but I was still following the story, so let's talk about that. The game gives you 3 main story paths from the start. First, help a boy defeat titans to save his dog. Second, take down Team Star who are bullying other students. And third, become the champion. The story is very simple, but it really grabs you. It reminds me of an old school anime like Naruto. Simple, but with a lot of soul. Let's go from the most boring to the best. The simplest story is the league. Basically you just fight a boss, but first you have to play a minigame. Sometimes you kick a ball into a goal, sometimes you play Find Waldo or even find the lost wallet. The main problem is that the gym leaders don't get enough screen time. They're actually charismatic characters, but you don't have time to wipe at them. That's why the league felt like the weakest story. Next are the Titans. The story is told little by little, but because you meet the same character every time, you slowly start to care about him. When he finally healed his Pokémon, I'm not gonna lie, I almost shed a tear. The third and the best part is Team Star. The missions are technically similar to gym battles, but the enemy aren't just nice guys. They are a group of punks who decided to leave the academy. But they only look like punks at first glance. Every mission is connected by a single story that reveals their personalities. I especially loved Mela, but the best character in the story is the super cringy director. He pretends to be a student just to help investigate Team Star. This whole branch gives me a slice of life anime vibe. The plot isn't heavy, but it really hooks you. It's really got to me. But the most interesting part was definitely the ending. When I finished the main quest, a final mission opened up. And this part was on a completely different level. Everything we did before was just a warm-up. We meet all the characters, become friends, and headed into Area Zero together. In this story, Erwin showed a whole new side of himself, and I realized he's the real main hero of the game. Our character is just the link of the group, but Erwin has the most touching and soulful story. That's why I consider him the true protagonist. He's an abandoned kid who grew up alone, and when he finally goes to face his bad mother, it turns out she's been dead. All this time he was actually talking to an AI robot. And I'm so glad the developers saved this special moment for the very end. So those were my feelings after finishing the game, but it's not over yet. Next up is multiplayer. The game is already old and everyone's playing Pokémon Legends ZA, so it was pretty hard to experience everything fully, but I managed to test every feature. First I tried trading. I don't have friends who play this, so I traded with strangers. At first I thought about setting something cool, but then I got greedy and sent a trash Pokémon from the first area. In return I got a Gen 3 Pokémon holding a Master Ball. I was happy for a second, but then I noticed something suspicious. The Pokémon was renamed to a shady website. I got really worried and thought someone just hacked my account and was about to swipe all my Pokémon. I googled it and find out that bad guys use this to advertise sites where you can buy Pokémon and other things. I had no idea there was a whole shadow industry going on while I was just chilling. Anyway, the chance of getting the Pokémon I needed in a random trade was really low, so I had to look for people to trade with. I checked Reddit for trading partners, but since the game isn't popular right now, there weren't many players around. I did a little research and it turns out the community has a special codes you can use in trading to get exactly the Pokémon you need. Honestly, I was a bit scared to try it because I'm kind of a chicken, but the fact that the game has such a huge numbers of trading mechanics is really cool. I just needed to figure out them a bit more, because honestly, it all looks a bit confusing and complicated. After trading, I jump into the multiplayer. There are two main modes, PvP and PvE. I had no problem with PvE. Basically, this mode Basically, this mode isn't much different from the raids in single player. A team of 4 players attacks one super strong Pokémon, and in the end you can catch it. I felt comfortable there. Other guys had way stronger Pokémons, but I still made an impact. But I can't say the same about PvP. I got totally destroyed. Almost everyone had legendary Pokémon, and I couldn't even touch them. Every time I finally got their HP low, the enemy just swiped the Pokémon and it finished me off. It wasn't just about the Pokémon. Those guys are just objectively better at the game. Even though I never won, I liked PvP even more than the raids. Sadly, I didn't get to play much because I was stupid and sold the cartridge, and now I really regret it. A few days after selling it, I wanted to go back, run around the world and collect Pokémon again, and of course fight in PvP. You know, the game seems really simple. The graphics, story, animations, almost everything isn't at the level of modern AAA games. But even so, it has a certain magic. It's really fun to play. I've really fallen in love with this universe. Now I spend my free time watching Pokémon videos and rewatching legendary anime. I am a bit sad I'm missing the hype as a kid, but I'm still happy I'm started now. I have a huge world ahead of me and hundreds of hours of adventures. The only thing is, I don't know what to play next. The very first game, another one, or Pokémon Legends EA, I'm not sure, so I hope you can help me out. Write in the comments what I should play and talk about in the next video. Thank you for watching, with you was Ikari. Subscribe to my channel, good luck and bye!